YouTube? Hope you guys had a great week. Me, probably not so good, but I'm just gonna focus on the topics today. So as of late, what we've been hearing in the news, I'm sure you've heard in the news a lot about this war that's going on in the Middle East. And one thing I will say is that I really don't have a dog in this fight. I don't really have an opinion, nor am I taking sides. But one thing I will talk about is people who have taken sides. For instance, Dr. Umar Johnson just plain out said, you know what? I'm focused on black people right now. I'm not worried about the war at all. And at the same time, you have people like Drake and DJ Khaled. They're not taking a stance whatsoever as well. Then LeBron James basically sided with Israel, saying that he stands with Israel and he believes that Hamas is committing terrorism. Now, one thing I'll say to that is that we've seen LeBron say things in the past and have an opinion in the past and kind of jump out before the horse a lot. And I love LeBron as a basketball player, but every time he makes some of these real controversial quotes, because what he said was very controversial, it just kind of shows his ignorance on certain topics. So it exposes him in ways that it's like, man, why did you sign off on that? Like, that probably wasn't his like direct opinion, but his name was directly, associated with that post. So he signed off on that. So I think that was a very bad choice, because if you've been at least, chiming in on what's been going on there, it's been going on there for a long time. And both sides have been doing, it's just kind of like they're just doing each other in, over the years. And so I believe that, Israel, for the most part, has been on the strong end of it in the as of late years because of its support from the U.S. and other allies. So it's kind of, for me, looking at the situation, I don't know how anyone could have an opinion if you're not on the ground there, if you haven't been living it. I don't think anybody should have an opinion on that war. I think the only opinion that I could have is that I wish that, kids and innocent people weren't dying because of it. And that's on both sides, in Israel and Palestine. I wish that they can find some kind of single state solution, because a two-state solution only creates separation, in my opinion. But I wish they can come to a single state solution where they can just coexist. I mean, it's the Holy Land. I'm sure they have a lot of similar beliefs, and that's why they're fighting over the sacred Holy Land, because they both feel strongly over it. So I feel like there should be a single state solution sometime, at some point, for them in the future, if peace is something that can happen. But other than that, I don't really have an opinion on, who I'm for, who I'm against. I think that would be very ignorant of me. I think that's very ignorant of people like LeBron to think that he can just, choose a side without hearing the full story of, getting a good scope of the history of this conflict, because it's been going on for perhaps longer than I've been alive, to be honest. So that's all I'm going to say about that topic. I hope they can come to peace soon. YNWMelly. YNWMelly, man. We've seen a lot go on in this case. The things that I've witnessed as of late during trial is that the main prosecutor got kicked off, and I guess because she's going to have to testify over allegations that Moretti wrongfully, or somehow violated Melly's mom by forcibly taking a phone from her, and then basically telling an officer to stage that he was there when he wasn't. And this is from the state all these allegations are coming from, so it really makes the state look really bad, which is why they had to kick the main prosecutor off. But in comes in the same prosecutor that got Triple X's killers convicted, and she's coming in, and the first thing she's saying is that she needs time to look over the documents, because she just been informed within 48 hours about this case, and they need, they just need to be able to review it and so on. So they were pushing back, and sure enough, a couple days later, new charges come for Melly, and the charges are surrounded around him talking to other blood affiliates in Portland about making sure Mariah stays quiet, and also about alleged, drugs and the prices of them. The trial alone is one thing, but what's happening on social media with YNW is probably more interesting. If you go on Reddit, man, you go to the YNWMelly subreddit, you'll realize that, man, it's crazy, dude. I mean, you'll see things from fans that just like, you could tell that Melly has a strong following, because I've seen people orchestrate whole scenarios where Melly is in the car and at some point he contacts, or no, he doesn't contact, because it was all premeditated beforehand, without phones, that they would meet up with other blood gang members along the way, and how a blood gang member came there, Melly got out the car, another one got in, somehow the one was allegedly trying to rob one of the two out of Sac and Juvie, and ended up shooting Sac. Juvie was crying out, struggling, so they shot him too. I mean, you'll hear all these kind of crazy scenarios about why it could have been someone else other than Melly. And it's just like, it's the thing of science fiction, to be honest. So I thought that was super interesting, none alone, that while this trial and all this chaotic stuff is going on with Melly getting these new charges, that's literally telling other people to keep quiet, and then he's doing drug deals with gang members. So now you have that inference of he's doing something in the furtherance of a gang. So Melly's making himself look really bad, while his lawyers are making him look spectacular. I mean, they're arguing that his rights are being violated, which they are to a certain extent. If you look at this case, if certain things are true, that the state tried to stage a witness in certain scenarios, it's crazy that you can even allow certain things to be admitted. And one of the things that the judge kind of even voices, that they should just have it all in discovery with the jury, and just say, hey, look, this is what went down, because the judge is not throwing out this case no matter what, no matter how good Melly's lawyers are. The judge is not throwing out this case, not with all this circumstantial evidence that was already there, along with such evidence that's coming forward right now. So you can expect to see a long, drawn out trial, because a lot of the same witnesses are coming up, and there are additional witnesses coming to the stand, in terms of on the state side, to try and kind of prove their case. It's going to be probably another boring trial. I keep saying that because the first one was so boring. I did not look forward to the end of those trials. But I'll keep digging through all this information and deciphering it and keeping you guys updated on what's going on with the YNWMelly trial. I don't like to go kind of, every day on it because it changes on a daily basis. So I like to give you guys a kind of full scope on what's going on with that. The next thing that's on the ballot right now is what's going on with DJ Envy and Cesar Pina. I mean, this thing has been drawn out. I didn't speak on this for a while, but I think now with how bad it's gotten to the point where I do think that here on out going forward, I think everybody would look at some of these financial platforms with a grain of salt. There's some that I really trust that I do enjoy, like, Wall Street Trap. Shout out to Trap. I think he's giving out good information. I think everything that he's offering is worth 100%. I'm not a member of his club, but it's something that I would definitely do. I wouldn't bat an eye on it. He gives out great information. A lot of times he's giving out game that nobody else is giving out in the market. I do think EYL is doing a great thing with just trying to branch out the different voices of how to create wealth. I don't think that they're, taking money from customers or from fans. So again, I think anytime they're offering, good information that you don't see anywhere else, how can that not be valuable? So I think, as long as you're providing value in the market and you're providing a service, then you're doing your job. If you're out here providing services and not delivering, I mean, it puts a stain on the whole entire, urban financial, whatever you want to call it, black financial scope arena. It makes people just kind of look at other people like, man, are they trying to scam me? And I have had, people outside of YouTube that I know, just, colleagues from college and so on. And I see how certain people would prey on, their own people. So it sucks. As far as what's going on with DJ Envy, there's a lot of talk about why is he still there? Tony the Closer is basically putting out a campaign on, why is this guy there? DJ Funkmaster Flex has been all over the radio, just selling out, man. Basically saying that DJ Envy shouldn't get fired. He's saying that DJ Envy's boss should get fired. And he, quote unquote, says that he was caught sleeping at the wheel. I mean, I thought that was, oh man, way to make your boss look bad type of deal. Is DJ Envy's days numbered at iHeartRadio? That, I don't know. I would think that if I got to the point where I did something that got my radio or my company, forget radio station, my company in general, work anywhere, I think that me doing something big enough to get my company sued, I mean, I'd have to be a very, very, very strong player, in their bottom line for them to not boot me out or oust me out or replace me, So, hey, maybe he's blessed and highly favored over there at iHeart. I don't wish nothing, I don't wish prison or being fired on any man, who's making good money and supporting his family. We'll just have to see what's going on with that situation. But it is something that I have been following. I did think it was hindsight looking back on it. I used to watch those interviews where he had Cesar Pina on there, and I used to think, okay, well, I mean, my first instinct when I saw Cesar Pina was, I was like, okay, he looks like, he might be, smarter than the average person. He wasn't like super, well spoken. He didn't speak a lot, but sometimes that's a sign of intelligence, you speak when spoken to. But one thing I did notice is his physical appearance, and I'm not gonna say nothing about people who are overweight, but I just felt like, not that he was just overweight, but I felt like he looked kind of sloppy. And I don't think I would take advice from somebody that looked like him. I believe what he was saying because he was kind of next to envy, and I can see why people was taken aback by this, because it's like, if you don't put envy there, I don't see anybody investing with this guy. I mean, he just didn't look the part. Forget again whether he's overweight. He always had a tee on and some jeans. I don't think I ever seen Caesar Pena in a suit. That was a red flag. I mean, you dealing with $1 million properties, so to speak. You're a multi-millionaire real estate guy, and you don't even got a tie. You don't even got forget a tie. You don't got a polo. All you wear is tees and gold chains. My dude, you look like you work at a pawn shop. No offense to my dudes who work at pawn shops, but I'm like, you don't look like you running a real estate business. So that's all I had to say really about that. Watch who you giving your money to, and invest with real financial professionals that got Series 7s and all that. I'm not talking about looking at the skin color or the office and nothing like that. I'm talking about asking for people for their certifications and their professional, what is it that you have that, why should I be listening to you type deal? Because, it's hard to get your money back after the feds come in. Regardless of whether you get charged or not, it's hard to get your money back if they spent all of it. So be on the lookout for certain scams. Other than that, I don't really have much else to say. This is TNN. Just wanted to chime in with you folks. Hope you all enjoying the rest of your evening. And I know the holidays coming up. A lot of crazy stuff happens during the holidays, so stay on the lookout, be easy, and this is TNN signing out.